Bro.
I'm glad you're here with me tonight,
Bro.
man. I'm glad you're here.
Are you?
What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the pregame lounge. Let's go.
Dude, I'm fucking on fire. Let's go.
We are presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Make sure you use the code DNVR when you sign up and download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. We're here to get you set for Nuggets Warriors. We're also going to talk about the rest of the Western Conference, who we actually fear or who the Nuggets should fear in the playoffs. We're going to rank them or rate them.
Okay.
5 through 10 on a fear rating scale.
Ooh, sounds like quite a little show we got lined up.
Also, we're going to go over the new CBA.
Oh, the Christian Brown agenda.
Maybe. I'll go over
New
the headlines
Christian Brown
from the
agenda
new
just
CBA. And then we're going to get into our best bets for the night. I'm Harrison Wind. That man is D-Line.
That's right, guys. The Splash Brothers are here.
The Splash Bros. Here we are, man.
Here we are. I'm ready for some Denver Nuggish basketball.
Yes. Denver Nuggets.
No,
Yes.
Nuggish.
Nuggish. Yeah. It's an accurate way of describing it because we'll get to the news right off the top. Injury-wise, Nikola Jokic is out tonight. Still out with that calf injury.
God damn it.
Zeke Naji is also out. He has a knee sprain. I don't know really when he got it, though, because he played like the end of that game the other night. Jamal Murray, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Michael Porter Jr. are in, though.
Okay.
And the Nuggets are starting those three, Aaron Gordon and Jeff Green. So a smaller look for the Nuggets in the front court tonight. Aaron Gordon starting at the 5. Jeff Green is now in the starting lineup with Nikola Jokic out.
Well, I mean, I would say that this actually is a lineup that matches up from a size perspective well with the Warriors. Mm-hmm. The Warriors, a team that Kevon Looney is their center.
6'9".
He's not like a massive guy. Draymond Green plays the center from time to time. Am I excited?
The Warriors, they're pretty much at full strengths other than Andrew Wiggins, who's been out for a while, personal reasons. But other than that, the Warriors are good to go. You're not excited for this game, though. I can tell.
Let me see. Do I have anything in my contract that requires I feign interest for every single Nuggets game? No, I don't. No, I'm not. When Nikola Jokic doesn't play, I don't watch that basketball game, generally speaking. That's true of every other team in the league. That's true of the NCAA finals. Unless Nikola Jokic is playing, I'm generally not interested in that basketball game. We saw what it looked like when many of these players suited up a couple of games ago and Nikola Jokic didn't play, and it was a goddamn travesty.
It was really bad.
I'm hoping, here's to hoping that, I mean, I don't even know. This is something that it's like so out of character for what the ultimate version of the Nuggets looked like that there's literally nothing to gain from tonight's game.
Yeah. Let's talk about the Jokic injury a little bit because I think this is the third straight game he's missed with this calf. This is a legit injury. The Nuggets just aren't resting him. Like, this is legit. It's been bothering Jokic. I think it started bothering him right before the Philly game, and then he played in the Philly game. I think it got worse because of that. And now he's missed these last 3. I just think this is the Nuggets being as cautious and just as safe as possible with it. And look, Denver, their magic number to get the 1 seed is 2 games.
Yep.
Memphis lost earlier today.
Yep.
They lost a game that it looked like they were going to win. They were up like 20 points in the first half and lost to Chicago.
Saw that.
The Nuggets are going to be the 1 seed. I think, like whether Nikola Jokic plays again this regular season or not, they just have to like get 1 win and 1 more Memphis loss and the 1 seed is theirs. I don't think there's any seeding manipulation, standing manipulation that the Nuggets are doing, even though they've done that in the past. I just think this is Denver being safe with Nikola Jokic because it is all about the playoffs for this team. With that being said, I do think it would be nice to get some momentum over the final 4 games after tonight, heading into a first round series. Like, I think that would be an important thing to happen. I also don't think it'd be the end of the world if they just played it really, really safe and just rested him these last 5 games.
Oh man, I'm of like so many different minds on this because Nikola Jokic is not a guy that requires like momentum to get, like he really does have a switch more throw than anyone we've ever seen. Like he really can just turn it on and go into Hulk mode. It's everybody else that doesn't possess that same quality.
That's a good point.
It's just like, it's like the tone has to be set for all of these guys, for your Jamal Murrays, for your Aaron Gordons, for your like all these guys that we've seen that have been slumping at various points throughout the year. I hate this. I mean, this is crazy. This is a be careful what you wish for situation where you're like, man, I really wish the Nuggets were the number 1 seed and they were controlling their own destiny going into the playoffs. It's like, man, it's been miserable. Like it's been so long since the Nuggets played a truly meaningful basketball game.
We were talking about that before we went live.
The last game they played that felt meaningful, that everybody rose to the occasion, was that Milwaukee Bucks game. And that was like weeks ago now. And not only that, like that was them facing a team on the second night of a back-to-back. So I don't even know if that team.
And before that, it was probably the Memphis game.
Yes, it was Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, man. Like it's, again, I mean, this is like, you want to be in this position, but now that you're in it, you're like, man, this is brutal.
It is brutal, but you've got to, see the forest through the trees.
Forest for the trees, baby.
The playoffs is the only thing that matters.
Truly.
It's like you ask people around the team if they're concerned about this, about that, about this regular season loss, and they're like, it's the regular season. Like, we're here for the playoffs. That's what we've been looking for the entire year. This is what we've been waiting for really for the last 3 years.
Yeah, it can't get here goddamn fast enough. I feel like this feels like we are actually tanking. Like the team in the highest position and the lowest position are entering into each of these games the same way. Like, well, we'll see what happens. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see what happens, Wind. I mean, I'm hoping to see some life out of guys like Jamal Murray, especially Jamal Murray.
I think it'll be interesting to see how the Nuggets look with Aaron Gordon starting at the 5. I think that's a nice, interesting wrinkle that's thrown into this thing.
Yeah.
Can the rest of the starting 5 just look better than they did in that game a couple days ago?
Dude, if they look worse
than they did against the Pelicans.
That was the worst display of basketball I've seen in some time.
I know.
This is honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, I need to see Jamal Murray step up. I need to see Jamal Murray step up, grab the mantle of second best player on this team, grab it, be the leader on the floor when Nikola Jokic is not on the floor. If for no other reason, just so that I can store that away in my little brain that it's possible. But, if we are in a situation where there is no Nikola Jokic, it doesn't matter who's the leader. The Denver Nuggets are going nowhere.
Yeah.
So let's go.
So the Warriors are 41-37. They're 5th in the West. Right now, the odds are that Phoenix Golden State might be the second round matchup in that 4-5 spot. So if the Nuggets win the first round, they probably will play Phoenix or Golden State. And Warriors have won 2 in a row. The thing about Golden State and the story around them all season is they are awful on the road.
Awful on the road.
They are a terrible team on the road. They're 9-29 on the road.
How is this possible?
It's the 3rd worst road record in the West. It's one of the worst road records in the league.
What?
They're just a shell of themselves away from Chase Center. So while, the vibes aren't great, I don't think either of us are expecting the Nuggets to win tonight. I don't think this is like a Phoenix Suns situation from a couple days ago where the Nuggets just have no chance.
Right.
Even though they made a game out of that one. But I don't think Denver has like a 0% chance of winning tonight. Like the Warriors are so bad on the road where Denver could battle and get this.
I mean...
You disagree.
Nothing's impossible.
Oh,
Anything's possible. Anything is possible. We'll see what happens. We'll see if Jamal Murray has to go.
Is he the number 1 guy you're watching for
he has
tonight?
to go toe-to-toe with Steph Curry. MPJ has to go toe-to-toe with Klay Thompson. After that, it's going to be, then we have guys like KCP, who has been really bad lately. I want to see him sort of step up and regain that place of being, the perfect complement to the rest of this team. I mean, there's a bunch of guys that you look at. That's really, truly I'm like already into, what else can we look for into this game? Normally, my number one thing I'd be looking for in this game is for the Nuggets to win.
Usually,
but that's not on the table tonight. Like that might happen, but that's can't be the number one because that's how you lead into disappointment and anger.
Yeah.
If you have expectations that are not met. So I am focusing my efforts and my devotion onto Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. Yeah. Those two need to show me that they can be the generals, the leaders on the floor, that they can step up, that they could go toe-to-toe with the two players that each is commonly comped to see if, in fact, that Jamal Murray can be Jamal Curry and MPJ could be MP Clay. We'll see.
Did you just think of that?
No, I've said it 8,000 times. Really? No one listens to me.
That's pretty good.
Thanks, bro.
Were you online at all today?
No.
Oh, you weren't?
I was, what is that? I was very hungover.
Classic.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm guessing you didn't see, but Jokic had a friend in town, a visitor in town. Coach Pesic.
What?
From the Serbian national team was in town.
Was he really?
Look at that. He's in town right now. This is actually why I thought there might be a chance Jokic plays tonight.
I was going to say, Jokic would go off if he was. Look how little, tiny little Coach Pesic is.
Little Coach Pesic. I mean, we have bad memories in our mind about, the last time we talked about Coach Pesic.
It's true.
I don't want to bring up bad stuff.
Yeah, it turns out anytime that Coach Pesic is around, Jokic isn't going to play enough.
That's a good point. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about the rest of the Western Conference. I want to ask you, D-Line, and I want to talk about, should we be afraid of the Warriors in the playoffs? And who should we be afraid of in the Western Conference?
We're going to go step by step, or you're going to name them?
I will name teams.
Okay, we're going to go. We got props, baby.
And then we are going to rate how scared of that team we are to face in the playoffs. And play along in the comments. I want to know what your guys' fear ratings are as well. But let's start with the Warriors. Let's start with the team that the Nuggets are playing today. Okay. Of course, Denver Golden State played last year in the playoffs. You're giving it an 8. I'm going to give it a 7.
Okay.
I'm going to give it a 7.
Listen.
Slightly lower.
Yeah. Who knows, man? Could Andrew Wiggins make a last-minute appearance for the Golden State Warriors?
Who knows?
Entirely possible. The Golden State Warriors are confoundingly terrible this year, are mind-numbingly bad. It doesn't make any sense. I don't believe it. Do you believe they're as bad as they've been all year?
Of course not. But it just might be one of those years where...
It could absolutely be one of those years, but you can't ever feel comfortable playing the Golden State Warriors in games that mean something, where there's a lot, where the lights are bright, and those two guys, the Splash Bros, the Harrison Wind and Eric Wedum of the Denver Nuggets are able to the DNVR Nuggets are able to go out and just do what they do. The Nuggets, they have the Warriors have no answer for Nikola Jokic.
Yeah. We learned that in the playoffs last year.
We learned that. I feel like even more so, Nikola Jokic cracked the Draymond Green code. Mm-hmm. So I feel like anytime they would match up now, it would start there, not have to get to that point.
Right.
But, you get nervous.
They're still the Warriors.
They got that. To say they have a pedigree is underselling it.
Yes. There is a certain amount of respect you have to give them. If Andrew Wiggins, I'm kind of just... banking on Andrew Wiggins not coming back. I'm baking that into my rating at a 7.
It takes it down 1.
Yeah. I mean, if he is back, I definitely fear them more because he's actually a really important part of what they do.
He's
their Aaron Gordon.
Yeah, he was very legitimately had a claim to the MVP of the playoffs crown last year.
And a lot of this for me is also, we saw the Nuggets and the Warriors play in the playoffs last year. That series, looking back on it, the first 2 games, Jordan Poole played maybe the 2 best games of his life.
Because he saw those baddies, remember? Courtside, there were baddies. We have to, listen, whoever's in charge of entrance at Pepsi Center, Ball Arena, no baddies allowed. If you see baddies with courtside tickets, revoke.
Yeah. And then the Warriors go up 3-0, the Nuggets get away. It was a weird series. But watching that and watching how Jokic handled Draymond Green, I feel way more confident than maybe I should about that.
Yeah.
The Sacramento Kings. We're rating these 5 through 10. 5 for me.
6 for me. 6 for me. Go ahead. Light that beam for us, would you please?
I'm going to take down the beam. Look, like the Kings, they're terrible defensively. They don't have good depth, I don't think. They play a style and brand that's kind of similar to the Nuggets, and they haven't been there in the playoffs before. I just, out of all the teams in the West, like I think Sacramento is one where you should feel very, very good about like going into a matchup with them.
Yeah, truly, it will be mentioned forever and always about any team that's a new jack startup. Like you don't know what the playoffs are like until you know what the playoffs are like. It's just, this is a tale as old as time. They're just not, they are an upstart. They're not ready for, to be who they truly are. So this is not their year. Yeah. It's just not, but it's like they can
win a series. Absolutely.
They could absolutely win a series for sure. But six.
Yeah. Let's move on to the Memphis Grizzlies. I'm going to go 8.
I'm going 6, man. They don't scare me at all.
They don't scare you at all. Why not?
Because when we've played against them, it's been kind of light work relatively speaking, for the team that's like nipping at your heels.
Yeah.
They don't really have anybody that really scares me. Mm-hmm. I mean, Ja can go off a little bit. Last time we played them, they didn't have Desmond Bane, which can be, obviously that's the two of those guys represent sort of their inside-outside threats. I don't believe it with them. The way that Jamal Murray got in Dylan Brooks's ear and just shouted him down into oblivion, and just the way that they just handled them in a way that was not. It didn't feel. It wasn't like, oh man, they really got by. It was like, no, the Nuggets own this squad. Like they are. They exist in the higher plane here. They are just the better version of in a lot of ways of at least from a confidence standpoint of this team. I don't see it with them. I don't believe that the Grizzlies have what it takes to be super successful in the playoffs.
All right, that was convincing. The Suns. The Suns for me are a 10.
Suns, yeah. Obviously, that's
they're as high on this scale as you can go.
Yeah, that's the. This is the. We're destined for this, right? The moment we started this network and the
DNVR PHNX battle
expanded to Phoenix, this was destined.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant makes you scared. He's a good player. Kevin Durant in no way guarantees success.
Peyton Watson couldn't even stop him.
Yeah. Kevin Durant in no way guarantees success. He's only been successful in one scenario, and that was joining the greatest team of all time.
Yeah.
So we saw him team up with other superstars in other areas that have not, and it hasn't worked. Plus, he's very brittle, as we've seen. We'll see if he's able to make it through. I wouldn't count on injury being a part of that, but
sure.
We've seen with them, in the very short time that they've played together, DeAndre Ayton and Chris Paul have no idea what to do with when KD and Devin Booker are playing. The two of them just be completely nullified. They don't end up having 4 top players. It just turns into a two-man game.
Yeah, I think they're 4-0 with Durant so far.
Yeah, they are. But I'm saying I don't feel like they've been properly tested for the way in the ways that we're talking about now. Just because we're at this part of the season. So I don't know. They scare me, but it doesn't feel impossible.
Yeah, I agree. There is so clearly one top tier in the West. I think the Nuggets and Suns are in that tier. I think they're in the same tier. I think it'd be a war, to be totally honest.
Yeah,
that
truly.
would be a war.
Oh, God.
And we might get it in the second round. Last one, the Los Angeles Lakers.
Oh, God. I'm going to go a 9.
It's a 9 for me. If the Suns are a 10, the Lakers are a 9 for me. And, I think the Lakers are definitely better than their record. If you just look at them from the trade deadline on, I think they have the number 1 defense. They're above 500, well above 500. And you've got the officiating X factor, which is a real thing with them. That's not just us hating. It's a real thing if you look at the free throws that they've been getting this season compared to their opponents. So with that matchup, that would be the biggest fear. LeBron, Anthony Davis, a competent roster in the officiating, against the Nuggets, where if, Jokic gets into foul trouble, that changes the course of an entire game. So.
I know. And really, what I'm factoring in is emotional pain here. Like what it would mean if the Nuggets were to be ousted by this Lakers squad. Like, just the very idea sends me up 3 or 4 numbers on the scale. I can't, that is the scariest concept ever.
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with it. I hate
scary.
this. Let's stay back in the regular season where things don't matter. I'm not ready to ratchet it up, dude.
You better get ready.
Oh, no.
Let's talk about the new CBA. I don't know if you saw it. New CBA
the Christian
just dropped.
Brown agenda. Let him play, right?
The new collective bargaining agreement. And I don't want to really nerd out here with a ton of details. I kind of just want to go over the headlines. These were a couple of the big headlines from the new CBA that just dropped here, I think today. Yeah, this morning. There will now be a minimum number of games played. 65 games that you have to play to be eligible to win major individual awards like MVP. Good or bad?
Good.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's good. I mean, the NBA desperately trying to find ways to make it so that their top talent actually plays in games in the regular season. They're desperately trying to find ways to make the regular season matter.
Yeah,
to
they are.
The players. So, I mean, I think that's good. I don't know. There's probably not that many people in contention. This really just comes down to, would Joel Embiid have played? Would Nikola Jokic? Yeah. Jokic wouldn't care, but Joel Embiid.
My initial take on this was Nikola Jokic is going to win the next 10 MVPs.
I know, right?
What if he's just the only superstar that plays 65 games? It's going to be like, man, who's going to win MVP this year? Jokic or Mikal Bridges?
Dude, we're going to get some terrible, disingenuous, play one stint and sit down kind of stuff.
I feel like if that happens, the voters are just going to be like, nah, man.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope so. Whatever. We'll see. We'll see.
More news. This is a little nerdy. Sorry.
Nerd
A second
alert.
tax apron that, when reached, will eliminate a team's taxpayer mid-level exception. And you can't trade first-round picks 7 years away or sign players in the buyout market. Pretty much, this is making it tougher on the Warriors and Clippers.
Yeah.
The teams that have these crazy, crazy high payrolls.
Right. You can't just if you're extending yourself in one way, you can't do it in another.
Yeah.
Basically, it's the Lakers and the Clippers this year. The teams that are always stacked already, and then playoffs come around and they also get the best players off the buyout.
Yeah.
All that. I think it's cool. I think
it's good and just bad.
It's just they're striving ultimately for parity. At least,
yes.
At least this gives the impression that they are. The whistle on the floor oftentimes doesn't hint at that, but they're at least from a structural standpoint trying to make it so that the big bank can't just take little bank over and over and over.
Yeah.
So I appreciate the effort.
The teams at the top of the at the top of the league in payroll hate this. Everybody else likes it. Mid-season tournament. This is going to be a thing next year. Part of the 82 game schedule. Prize money for the championship team. $500,000 per player. I think the mid-season tournament's going to be a massive hit. I've said that before. I think it's going to be great. I'm very hyped about it.
I can't picture it. I just can't picture it.
It's going to be one of those things like the play-in tournament where it's weird initially, but you just kind of get used to it, I think.
Yeah. To me, it seems super bizarre. And it seems weird that I don't know. I don't know. Well, again, we're just going to have to see it. We're thinking about it in the abstract, so it's it doesn't make any sense in the the current construct of what we're used to with the NBA, but maybe it's cool. You watch these weird little tournaments that happen in the early season for college basketball.
Right.
And it's kind of cool. It's a cool little thing.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be a massive hit. I think it's going to be huge. Last one, NBA players will no longer be prohibited for smoking marijuana under the new 7-year CBA.
Let's go! Denver, Colorado.
You can officially get high in the NBA.
Denver, Colorado, about to get a free agent boon. We are about to be the number 1 spot for all free agents.
Man, do you think there's just going to be a player who's high out of his mind during a game and everybody knows it?
Aaron Gordon?
Well, there probably are already, but
yeah,
I bet it becomes a talking point.
There have been multiple podcasts where players talked about that they've been high during various games.
Yeah.
Listen, whatever. Like if we see a drop off in performance, then like that hurts the players. But
if all of a sudden like we're not setting offensive records next year,
well, we shouldn't be every year. I mean, come on, chill out, everybody.
All right, let's go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Let's fire it up. Let's place some bets.
Oh boy,
for tonight.
Let's take a look.
Nuggets are 4-point underdogs tonight over the Memphis Grizzlies.
The 4-point underdogs for the
Yes.
you mean the
or
Golden State Warriors?
Warriors +4.
Oh, God, I hate that. Man. All right. So, yeah, -4. I'm staying so far away from anything points or result-wise.
You got to.
Dude, all we can do here is look at player props. All right. I mean, I am looking at Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray has to have a better showing being the general on the floor. I believe that now, he's had a little bit more time to sort of think about it. I'm sure they've watched some film. So, I expect a good game out of Jamal Murray tonight. I'm going to take his points, his over 22.5.
Okay. I like that too.
I feel
I'm going
good
to put
about
that
that.
in a same game parlay.
I also the last time we saw MPJ play, he had the worst shooting performance I've ever seen him.
Probably of his career.
I mean, it was the worst thing I've ever seen. That game, as bad as that game was, it was literally within reason that they could have won if MPJ had hit any of the threes he took. So I'm going to bank heavy on MPJ to hit his threes over 2.5. That's child's play. He's gonna come out. He's gonna restore order. He's gonna start knocking down those threes like we know he can and we know he should. And the only other thing I'm looking for is I'm going to go Aaron Gordon rebounds.
I was just going to say.
Yeah. Aaron Gordon rebounds set at 7.5. He's going to be the guy that they're looking to be the middle of that of the paint and to control that action. So those are the three I like. This is the redemption tour for these three players as far as I'm concerned.
I've got a same game parlay cooking. Jamal Murray over 22.5 points. Michael Porter Jr. 3+ threes. Aaron Gordon 8.5 rebounds. That's already plus 675.
It's a beautiful thing.
I like that 3-leg parlay. Let me see if there's anything else I could get in here.
I mean, Jamal Murray threes might be another thing because the Warriors get you into a game oftentimes where you're trading threes. If you consider yourself a 3-point shooter, this is a game that you want to see. I mean, we could be Dev and go to the other side of the world.
I don't want to be Dev. I don't want to go the other side of it.
All right, fine. Steph Curry, dude. Steph Curry to hit 5 3-pointers is negative money.
That's insane. That is insane, man.
It's -1 of 5.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Let's go watch Nuggets Warriors. Hopefully, we'll be back for a Winners Lounge in a couple of hours. If we are back here for a Winners Lounge, it's going to be a banger. I'm predicting that.
Oh, the most banging of all Winners Lounges ever.
Thanks for listening, guys. Talk to you later.
Let's go.